morning, everyone. This is April Garrett with the Seniors Blue Book. And today we have with us Brian Goldman, retirement specialist with Success Financial Solutions, American Senior Benefits. Hi, Brian. How are you today?
Good. How are you? That's a mouthful to say, isn't it?
It is a mouthful to say. Okay, so let's just get into it. Tell us a little bit about how you help seniors in the Pittsburgh area.
Well, the name says it all, right? American Senior Benefits. So, we're a local company here out of Green Tree, Success Financial Solutions. We partnered with this company, American Senior Benefits. What they do is they give us access to over 200 different insurance carriers, and we're able to help seniors who are transitioning into going on to Medicare when they turn 65 or whenever they're retiring. So we help them get onto Medicare, and then we help them with their retirement planning, whether that's through health insurance, life insurance, long-term care planning, wealth planning, make sure they don't outlive their retirement. Really anything that affects their retirement, we want to make sure that they can retire the way that they want to.
Okay. And, this is crazy pandemic time. How has COVID-19 really affected your business right now?
It has. It's kind of, I'll answer that in a couple of ways, but, everyone right now is out there thanking the nurses and the doctors and the first responders and all that, and we want to do the same thing. But it's kind of funny because when my 5-year-old a year ago, when he was 4, was asking what I do for a living, I was trying to explain to him, and how do you tell him that you help people with health insurance and life insurance? My wife said, well, your dad is a helper. He helps people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I really took that to heart here during this pandemic. What I do is I help people, and there's nothing more important right now than health insurance. So we're out there constantly talking to our clients and making sure that they understand what's covered, what's not covered under their Medicare plans, making sure that they have the right Medicare plan. It's a great time to talk about life insurance, right? It's making everybody think twice about a lot of different things. So it's a great time to just consider to make sure that your family is taken care of when that time comes. So I consider myself a helper right now, trying to help people, guide them through this. Our business, the only way our business has been affected a little bit is now, instead of me meeting somebody one-on-one in person, I have to do it the way we're talking right now over Zoom or over the phone or a different way. But everybody finds a way. We're finding a way too.
Wonderful. What's the biggest misconception seniors make when it comes to Medicare?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the biggest misconception that everybody in this country has about Medicare, not just seniors, is that they think Medicare is the same thing as what you and I have. And it's not. It's a completely different program. So, if you had X company when you were 35 and working, that same company might offer a Medicare plan, not just 65, but it's 2 completely different set of rules and 2 completely different types of plans. So that's probably the biggest obstacle, especially here in Pittsburgh, that we overcome, is UPMC or Highmark pre-65 is not the same post-65. Same with some of the other carriers here. So that's what we do, is we educate our clients first. We make sure they understand how Medicare works, because it's so completely different than any other health insurance. After they understand how Medicare works in general, then we can talk to them about all the different plans.
Makes sense. So long-term care is a big concern right now for the baby boomer generation. As people live longer, communities become more and more unaffordable. What advice do you have for people who are worried about this potential family burden and think that insurance to take care of it is unaffordable?
First off is it's never too early to start talking about it. Whether you're 25, 35, 45, 55, or in my case, most of my clients are 65 plus, it's never too early. It is probably the number 1 or number 2 leading cause of poverty in our country. You can argue premature death or, student loans or having a mortgage, but honestly, you spend more money right now on long-term care than anything else. And the statistics show that if you're a married couple over the age of 60 living together, there's an 80% chance that at least one of the 2 are going to need care. Women is 72% chance. Men are 50%. I always say, if you're going to go down to the Rivers Casino and you're going to tell me there's a 72% chance of balls landing on black, I'm going to put a little money on black. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we're saying is you got to put a little money on black. There's so many different options out there now to take care of long-term care or post-hospital care, as we call it, because I don't want to always call it long-term care. People only know of long-term care as a straight long-term care, which is a very old insurance product that is very expensive and very hard to qualify for. But that's not the only thing out there. Insurance companies have gotten very creative and very good in taking care of that. There's so many different options that you have. So it's really important to just have the conversation. What are you looking to cover? What we see with this pandemic right now is look at what's happening in all these nursing homes. It's scaring people, myself included. Nobody wants to go to a nursing home anymore. So if you don't want to go to a nursing home and you need care, what is going to cover at home care? Because now you're going to need somebody to come into your house. A lot of families now, where 100 years ago, families lived, the son and daughter lived right next door to mom and dad when they grew up. That's not the case anymore. If you're a senior in Pittsburgh, your family is probably not in Pittsburgh anymore. They're in Florida or Phoenix or New York or LA. So they can't just come to your house every single day. They can help take care of you by hiring the person who's going to take care of you, but they can't necessarily do the taking care of it. And most parents don't want that. So it's really, you have to have the conversation, find out what's in your budget. There's a lot of things that fits everybody's budget. And there are a lot of different, I think the key point here is there's a lot of different options out there rather than just straight long-term care.
For sure. So right now I'm in my 40s, but what age do you think you should really start preparing for retirement? And what are the first 3 things that you think that people should be doing to prepare for retirement?
You should be preparing for retirement from the day you're born, right?
Right.
Now, whenever you get out into the world and you get your first job, start saving for retirement. The earlier you start saving, the better off you're going to be at the end of the day. So it's never too early. You might invest a little bit differently in your 20s than you would in your 50s or your 60s. You might do some different things with your money, but it's never too early to start saving. I remember opening up my first bank account when I was 8-9 years old. The local bank called Chevy Chase Bank, where I grew up in Maryland, they came to my school and you could put $1 in. So every week my parents would give me $1 and I would put it in to this savings account. I think by the time I graduated, I had like $50, something like that. But it taught you to save.
It did.
So it really is. It's never ever too early to save and do something with your money.
Mm-hmm. So if I were over the age of 55, let's say, what would I be doing to prepare? What would you recommend?
To prepare for retirement, having a conversation with somebody like myself. The market's kind of scary. Look at what's going on in the market. This is now twice in the last 12 years that we've had a huge collapse in the market. If you were looking to retire in June, August, September of 2020, and your money was all in the market, you probably would not be happy right now and having to work a little bit longer. My parents are 68 and they probably have to work till 70 because of what happened in 2008. So there are a lot of alternative investment options that allow you to participate in gains of the market, but never in losses. So when you're 55 or over, it might be time to start thinking about those because your time horizon isn't very great in the stock market, right? Over a long period of time, you're probably going to make money. Probably, can't guarantee it, but you probably will. But if you're 55 or 60, you don't have that long time horizon anymore. You're about to start taking your money instead of putting it in. So you need to protect your money from whatever could happen in the market. And there are a lot of vehicles out there that allow you to do that. Just like with long-term care, where insurance companies have gotten very creative. It's the same thing in this space too. The baby boomer population is the biggest population in our country. So if they want to do business, they had to come up with creative ideas, and they have. And the great thing about what I do is I have access to all of them. So that's why I haven't talked about a single product in our short 5-minute conversation. I don't know what product's right for everybody. It's right for the right person, wrong for the wrong person. So there's no specific product I'm going to come on here and tell you is the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're all good if it's good for your need. That's why it's important to at least have the conversation.
Yeah. So Brian, if someone does want to get a hold of you, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
email, cell phone, which I know you're going to post for everybody. Email and cell phone are the best. You can text me, call me, email me. We have some websites you can go to, briangoldman.myasbagent.com. There's a Medicare website that I know you're going to post for everybody as well. I'm on Facebook, Brian Goldman Insurance Services. But the best way is definitely email. Just shoot me an email and say, hey, I want to have a 5-minute conversation. And definitely we'll have a talk. It doesn't cost anything to have a conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to point out or share with the community today?
Just, if you know anybody who is on Medicare, or anybody who has life insurance, or anybody who's worried about outliving their money during retirement, again, it doesn't cost anything to have a conversation. People don't know what they don't know until they've talked to someone, and my biggest job as a helper is an educator. So I educate people on Medicare, on life insurance, on investment products. I don't push a product. There's not one product I'm going to tell you about. So even if you're happy with what you have, even if you're already on Medicare, even if you already have life insurance, it's still worth the conversation because you might learn something you didn't know.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a good morning, and I hope I get to see you soon in person.
I know. Thank you. I hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and I can't wait to get out and see people. It's killing me not to have a one-on-one meeting with people right now.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right.
Have a great day, Brian.
Thank you. You too.
Talk to you soon. Bye.